Welcome to Tapped In. My name is David Figueroa-Martinez of DFM Coaching, and today we're going to be discussing a breakdown on the guard. The guard it has changed over time, obviously. It used to be half closed and then butterfly, and it's matured and developed into this weird thing that sometimes is viewed as offensive because there's offensive capabilities, and sometimes it's now viewed as something that is the go-to. So the guard is any moment or position where you have the guard or the legs between you and your opponent. For example, if I am in side control, the legs are no longer in play. If I'm in mount, the legs are no longer in play, and so on. If I'm in half guard, my legs are playing a part in my defense. If I'm in close guard, same thing. Name any of the guards, they all have legs being played in a defensive manner in some way or fashion. What guard you decide to play is completely up to you. As we age, we tend to maybe depend on certain guards that limit movement that are maybe what we seem to interpret as a little simpler. Close guard is a big one, unless you have back issues or hip issues. It's a great place to start when you want to really limit people's ability to pass the guard. Half guard is another one that I really like, and some people will argue it's not a great guard because half of it is gone already. I can hear that argument, but I genuinely love playing half guard. One of my favorite guards of all is butterfly guard, and I find it really useful because I can use it both gi, no gi. Not a whole lot changes from either. It's something that I can slip in and out of however I please with most roles. I can get into it because I have really good flexibility with my feet and my hips. I don't have any knee issues, so I can really get into butterfly guard rather easily from positions that normally some people can't do. The guard is also some guards that I like to play X guard, traditional X. A single leg X is something a lot of people like playing in no-gi. So depending on your body type and whether you play gi or no-gi, some guards are going to be more available to you than others. If you are someone who's defending punches and you're playing more for MMA rules or self-defense, you will probably stick to a handful of guards that protect your face. If you're squarely and completely a sport jiu-jitsu fanatic, all the guards are available to you. But even then, there are limitations because of the weight and the angles that the top player can play. Your age is going to determine whether you can play certain things. Like I like playing reverse De La Riva. It's one of my favorite guards when people are passing with knee cut. But I can see this is not something that a 60-year-old might be playing. They're definitely not going to want to berimbolo underneath and try to take the back off of it. So there are limitations even to that guard that I like. If you are a gi player and you play a lot of spider, that was a guard that I loved playing at one point, but my hands hurt now. As I get older, I don't play it very often. I play it more as a transitional guard, something that allows me to stop them from passing and then allows me to get to something else. But it's not a focal point for me. The guard, by definition, is something that prevents their advancement and keeps you safe. We can argue, and I'm going to get some shit for this. The guard is strictly, let me backtrack, not strictly. The guard is primarily for defense. Does it have offensive capabilities? Yes. Can I submit you off my back? Yes. Can I sweep you? Yes. Those are offensive capabilities. Offense is not the focal point or the primary objective of the guard. The guard is called the guard for a reason. And I think this is something that the current jiu-jitsu scene has kind of gotten away from because we have put the guard as such an offensive staple that we put it up there with top game as equals, but it's not. I don't care who I have to debate. I don't care what. This is a hill I will die on. The guard is not equal to the top position. The guard is a defensive-minded, priority-driven position that is supposed to stop the guard pass and is supposed to stop you from getting your head bashed in if the punches were allowed. And it's supposed to keep you safe from your opponent. It's supposed to be something that you manage the distance on, whether you want to keep them in or you want to push them away. Those are the two primary functions of the guard. Keep you safe by managing the distance. We have gotten to a point where people fall on the guard as if it's an equal to the top position, and it's not. There are no points that are awarded while being in the guard. You have to sweep, which gets you to top position, which then gives you points. Yes, we can submit off the back, like I said, but again, these are second and third options when the primary is to keep you safe and stop the advancement of the enemy coming forward. I want to make that perfectly clear. Additionally, the guard is not a position that you want to be lazy in. You really have to be active at all times. You have to be positionally aware of where all your tools are. Whatever guard I play, I need to have at least 3 points of contact. And what I mean by that is, let's say we are in an open guard and my opponent is standing, I'm on my back, and I only have my 2 feet on them. It's really easy to navigate around the feet. But if I have 2 feet on them and I have pant grip, makes it a little harder. Now we have 3 points of contact. If I'm on my side and we're more in a tripod setting, it's perfect for the sweep. 3 points of contact. Preferably, we want 4. I want to be able to have a grip on the collar, one on the sleeve, or 2 sleeves, or double sleeves, like 2-on-1 grips. And then my feet are playing a role in that too. Maybe 1 foot on the hip, thigh, one's wrapped around like De La Riva or whatever. But 4 is primarily your goal because it keeps them really busy. And when they push or shed 1 point of contact, you have to get that back. You cannot allow them to get rid of a point of contact and then you just let them not have it. You let them off free by not putting it back. So anytime I'm in a position, let's say we're in that tripod sweep position, when they push my foot off of their hip, I have to get that back. Because the minute they push off and they start to crowd me, I'm unable to create a defense worth it that they now can either go chest to chest or they can walk around or they can knee cut through. It makes it a lot easier for them. Think of the guard as your walls on a castle. The defensive measures that you have on those walls. The guard, the physical guard, is the walls. And then the submissions and sweeps are the other things that castles used to have, like the arrows and the boiling tar that you would spill over the side. Those are the offensive capabilities of a defensive structure, not a raiding army like if you were the guard passer. So you are playing defense because you are trying to guard your castle against an invading force. If we have that mindset, we'll also understand where the guard is best and where it's not. It's great for controlling before your offensive capability. If I can control your movement, if I can control the distance to what I actually want, if I don't want them to crowd, I push off. If I don't want them to leave, I pull in. Getting leverage off of the feet to go into like triangles and arm bars and kimuras, super important. But all of this is structured off of how the guard is being played. You want to chain guards together from time to time. Like, let's say I go De La Riva. It's not a great guard for me, and they start to break it down and I start losing the position. I can switch to X guard, or I can switch to reverse De La Riva, or I can push them back, and as they're coming down and maybe breaking the guard completely, I switch to butterfly guard. So your guards also have to chain together, much like you chain submissions together. You want to chain a triangle with an omoplata and an armbar. And in that, you could also sprinkle in the kimura because they were interrelated in the attack. They need a certain arm to be in place. If you want to chain, like let's say you're in mount and you're chaining a closed guard with an armbar. And if they break through the armbar, you take the back. Or so there's a chain in that as well. There is a chain in how you develop and use guards. There are some guards that I'm really adept at and they are home base for me. And there are some guards that I use transitionally to get to the ones that I actually like, because maybe the gap between those two guards is too big. So then I sprinkle in one just to get me there and nothing more. It's not a place that I want to hang out at. It's not a place that I want to spend a whole lot of attacking time in. I just want to use it to fend off the attacker and get to the position that I really want to do for those sweeps and submissions. The guard set mindset. In my opinion, the best guard players are architects. And I guess I could say it that way. They're people who, like, if you've ever seen, the best thing I could probably say is like, they're like lay and pray, if that makes sense. If you've ever been a gamer, sometimes you'll have these people that are lay and pray and they'll hang out somewhere and they'll just wait for you to come by and then they'll kill you. That's the guard. Or you'll, like, if you watch those spiders that create those trap doors, and when an insect comes by, it grabs them. That's the guard. When you're offensive minded, you're setting up traps. You're setting up kill points or kill zones for them to step into that are not great for retreating or advancing. And you can take advantage of the limited space that you've now created and then start picking off either for sweeps or submissions. Your job is to funnel them into a spot that just, it puts all the advantages in your pot, and they don't have very many in theirs. And then you start chaining your attacks together, and they're just fighting one after another. This is a fun aspect, and I think that's why so many of us get addicted to playing the guard, is because you can funnel and you can attack and you can play off your back in a way that you can be lazy but not lazy at the same time. And you just play. It's a fun puzzle to play. But at the same time, you sometimes, if you're really good at restricting that motion or the movement of your opponent, you're going to dictate the tempo. You're going to dictate some of the grip exchanges, the rhythm back and forth. You can really severely limit a lot of what they can do. But there are also limitations to this. Sometimes it's time sensitive. If I'm playing top and I need those points, I'm in a slightly better position to score a point than the bottom person. I don't deal with some of the things that the bottom person deal with. I'm not dealing with gravity. As a top person, I'm not dealing with the angles that they are limited to. I get to play every angle that I want. The bottom player, the guard, is kind of in reaction to. So I have to anticipate their movements. So sometimes they're a slightly step ahead and I have to readjust. So there's elements of playing the guard that are unbeneficial. You're playing against the floor, so your movement is limited. How you move is kind of limited because you can't move as fast and as freely, like left or right, forward or back. You have to deal with the weight of your opponent, and they're bigger. Sometimes that's all they need to break through. Sometimes if they're really good at fending off your grips, it can get exhausting. That's one of the things that I've really started doing lately, is like half passing and camping out in a position where I force the guard player to have to defend my choices. And after a minute or two, they get a little slower. And then I see that their legs aren't reacting as fast. And I'm just camping in a position, forcing you to move and move and move and move. And eventually I'm going to pass because you get tired. So there's aspects of guard play that become issues. Limited visibility, limited response times. You're dealing with gravity, angles. And as you continue to defend, you're just kind of gassing out in some ways, especially with someone who knows how to pressure pass. Oh, man, I love pressure passing. I love when I can get someone who is really energetic with their guard play. And after a few minutes, I start to just slowly grind them out. There's a moment where they're fending, and you can feel like the give. And when you get that give, okay, now I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass hard too. I'm not going to slow pass. I'm not going to fast pass. I'm going to slow this thing down and make you hate the fact that you played guard. That is my focal point when I'm top. So there's things that we need to consider with the guard. And in today's game, I think too much emphasis is placed on the guard. People drop to their butt. They avoid the stand up. They avoid that top game, and they will use the guard as a default. And I don't think it's the greatest decision. I think that if you come across a really good heavy guard passer, you're going to hate your life. And the guard, in my opinion, a little old school, should be used as a last resort. You should not pass. I should be used to sweep and immediately get to positions that are more advantageous. I don't use the guard as my go-to. I do play a lot of guard because I'm a black belt and I do a lot of rounds with people that are less experienced, so it kind of evens certain things out. But if I'm going against someone who's heavy, unless I'm working on something specific, I don't want to play the guard unless I absolutely have to. Unless you put me there, I don't want to play the guard. I have a pretty good guard. I have a fun guard to play. I enjoy guard play. But if all things are in my opponent's favor, size, weight, ability to apply pressure, knowledge of pressure, I don't want to be on bottom. And I play it just long enough to get a sweep, get on top, and then do the things that I really want to do. I'm hoping that this helped. I will be doing a positional on the different types of guards. But overall, I wanted to give a general sense of what the guard is and limitations and things that we love doing with the guard and things that I love doing with the guard. But just really understanding the general sense of it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at dfm.2099 on Instagram or Threads. I also have a free school community, DFM Coaching, BJJ, completely free. I have all my workshop videos on there for free. I have a Kimura workshop video that I did back in La Mesa maybe 2-3 years ago. That's on there. I have a couple of premium audio series that are also free. Completely up to you guys if you want to sign. I highly recommend it. It's a positive community. We don't put up with any BS. It's all about trying to make you get better. There's a Q&A. If you ever need to ask questions, it's generally here for you. Let me know if you need anything. Until next time.